I make things from the natural world. I make birds, fish, whales, things along those lines. I make them out of metal over a wooden core. And my goal is to make them look like they're, say, 100 years old. Not necessarily made by an artist, but by someone who had an artistic eye, who just worked with whatever materials were at hand. Working with bottle caps is probably how I got started. We were walking across a parking lot, and there were some rusted bottle caps laying in a pile, and they were overlapping. And the way they were laying there just kind of suggested fish scales to me. And the proverbial light bulb went off, and I had to build a fish. I'd go out with my kids early on Sunday mornings, preferably when it was raining, and we'd collect rusted bottle caps in the worst part of town. And it was quite a lesson in sociology, I guess, to see where the bottle caps were found, the most of them, and what was found with them. It was kind of fun. Yeah, it scarred my kids badly, but it was fun. On some of the fish, like on the sunfish I make, I've made a number of them. If you know sunfish, they're generally no longer than your open hand, tiny little guys. But when you blow them up to 36, 38 inches, they're a wonderful canvas for playing with things like color and texture and contrast between the visual elements that are on there. So I started looking at these antique advertising tents and saw wonderful colors, great graphics, and saw a way I could play them off each other. And for me, they're just a lot of fun. Today I'm going to be working on a barn owl. My goal is to make it as anatomically correct as possible. Not just any barn owl, but an adult male barn owl, a little bit smaller than the female, and the North American subspecies. They're found on every continent except Antarctica, by the way. I'm sure you're dying to know that. But as with everything I build, the material that goes into the core is basswood, which is a native tree to Ohio. We'll bandsaw it to shape roughly, and then start working on the contours and form of the piece with a bandsaw. Once that is done, I can start putting finer details with grinding tools into the face to define the large features there. Then I can go in with hand tools, clean those up a bit more where I need to, work out the eyes, work out the edges of the beak. And once that's done, then I can start putting tin on some parts of the body, but we'll pretty quickly move to the wings. Hands down, my favorite part of the process when I'm building a flying bird is putting the feathers on the wings. For me, that's when I'm starting to build the life into the piece. Playing a lot with rhythm and symmetry and quality of line. Just trying to capture those beautiful elements that the bird already has. The metal that I use on most of my projects is galvanized roof flashing, and that is zinc over a thin sheet of steel. If the stuff was brand new, it would be shiny as chrome, but I go at it with a big weed-burning propane torch and burn the zinc off. That takes it down to the steel, but it makes these gorgeous patterns in the steel. The nails that I use are coming out of an air gun, and they're all held together with a thin little skiff of plastic. And the heat turns the plastic black and ages the nails and make them look more pronounced. After that's all done and the piece is cooled off, then I can start applying paint. It's just acrylic paint. Apply it with a sponge, just again to give the appearance of age, patina, rust. I really appreciate the Japanese ethic of wabi-sabi, finding beauty in age and decay and things that are broken, well used, well worn. That's one of the things I'm trying to recreate, get a sense of when I make these things.